These Russian missile systems seem like a real horror to us in the first months of the war, as Ukraine had nothing to fight them with. They played the main role in the naval blockade of Ukraine, keeping the entire coastal area of the south of our country in fear, repeatedly destroying grain storage facilities and terrorizing innocent people.
An anti-ship complex with a launch range of up to 300 kilometers.
But as official Kiev acquired Western air defense systems, the effectiveness of the complex decreased and fell to such a level that today Russia does not use either the installation itself or the missiles created for it. We will tell you about this now, in the arsenal. Bastion is a coastal defense missile system jointly developed by Russia and Belarus. Russia also used it during the Russian intervention in Syria. The complex was created to target surface ships, convoys, and carrier strike groups. However, in the context of the Ukrainian war, it was used only against ground targets. Bastion, your puppet, has two mods: the mobile Bastion P and the stationary Bastion S, used in silo deployment. The complex can launch Onyx missiles as well as Zircon, which Russia has repeatedly demonstrated from the occupied peninsula,
Located in the territory of Crimea. Russia has deployed several divisions of this complex there. Bastion. It is an anti-ship complex with a launch range of up to 300 kilometers.
Overall, experts evaluate the Bastion positively. It is quite simple to use and reliable. It is an absolutely classic complex consisting of several launch control vehicles, support and transport loading vehicles. However, it does not have its own target detection systems, unlike its Western counterparts. Therefore, it cannot be called advanced. The Bastion relies on information from other means, reconnaissance and monitoring, which must provide data on the type and coordinates of the target, which still creates some difficulties and delays during use. And now let's figure out exactly what that complex fires. The main missile developed for it is the highly advanced supersonic Onyx.
This missile has the capability to strike land targets. And it was precisely this P-800 Onyx missile that was used to shell Odessa, then they shelled Nikolaev. But in truth lately, there hasn't been much heard about its use. Why? Because apparently very few of them were produced.
Like the vast majority of Russian counterparts, there is no weapon. The Onyx missile was developed during the USSR era. The development of this anti-ship missile with the P-800 index began in 1981. By 1987, the first test had already been conducted. But the collapse of the Union and the 1990s slowed down the project. It was ultimately only saved by the transaction of Onyx to India in 1998.
70s missile, the late 1970s. This is its deployment, and the Soviet Union produced it. It was likely produced in small numbers because there are also very few Bastion complexes. But its feature is that it is supersonic. It flies at Mach speed, which is the speed of sound, and its warhead can be up to 300 kilograms. 300 ki, TNT. You understand its destruction. We have seen in Odessa and Nikolaev destruction this missile can cause.
However, the rumors about the Russian Onyx turned out to be greatly exaggerated. After Ukraine recovered from the first months of the invasion and began improving its air defense, it turned out that the Onyx can be effectively shot down.
Due to its Mach speed, the Russians believed it would overcome the air or missile defense systems that we are trying to build based on the capabilities we have. But as it turned out, our guys are no slouches, and we have been shooting them down quite successfully. Shooting them down, including the Onyx missiles.
And they, along with the actual absence of our ships in the Black Sea waters, have rendered another of the Kremlin's victorious weapons simply meaningless.
They can only fire these missiles at border areas or those located on the coast, specifically if they are firing from ships, in particular from their vessels, and indeed in these scenarios, the missile flies, well, there are options that it flies up to 800 kilometers, but I think the main range of the missile is still 200, 300 kilometers. Therefore, naturally, they use them sparingly and only in areas where the missile could reach. It's not because they were saving them. Now, this missile is not within a small radius. Actions.
The second attempt to bring Bastions back to the battlefield was the development and use of the hypersonic missiles Zircon. This has no analogs, supposedly flying at a speed 9 times faster than the speed of sound. And it descends directly from the stratosphere onto its target. According to its creators, no missile defense system in the world is capable of handling it. With a year's delay, the missile was even put into service. However, whether it meets all the claimed specifications is unclear. To this day,
the same Zircon, which is also a big money eater without sufficient prospects, its real embodiment in solid form in the parameters that were previously announced.
At the same time, at least the fact that Zircon cannot be shot down Kyiv, tested 3 times already. In all 3 instances of use, the missiles never reached the target.
Each missile is developed for some specific technical assignments. Is it supposed to arrive quickly and hit something specific? The faster its speed during the approach to the target, the harder it is to intercept. If it is intercepted, knocked off course, and does not complete its combat mission, what can be said about this missile? Is it even a missile?
As for NATO, with which Putin is likely also planning to combat using this advanced weaponry, there are many more air defense and missile defense systems capable of destroying Russian Zircons.
It can be intercepted by Patriot systems, and we have already seen this. It can be intercepted by HATS-2 and HATS-3 systems of Israeli production. Moreover, now in Israel, they have developed anti-missiles for intercepting advanced hypersonic missiles. In addition, there are THAAD systems, such American missile defense systems. In addition, the SAM-PT complex and some types of missiles, in particular the Standard 3 and Standard 6, which are launched from American ships as declared as an anti-ship missile. And in the ammunition load, for example, of American Arleigh Burke class destroyers or Ticonderoga class cruisers, such missiles are included.
The paradox is that even those products that were managed to be assembled in single copies and even started to be mass-produced, there is no further possibility to produce. Firstly, they are gaining momentum every year. International sanctions. But the main surprise is that Ukraine, against which the Russian Federation has waged war, was the supplier of critically important equipment for missiles, especially anti-ship ones.
For the huge role in the loss of these capabilities by the Russian Federation in the maritime direction was due to the aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine since 2014, when cooperative ties were severed and the Russian Federation could no longer receive engine or installations of Ukrainian production.
As a result, for a significant period of time, for over 6 months, the Bastions, as well as Onyx and Zircon, have not been used in Ukraine. In the meantime, our military is waiting for the opportunity to eliminate these few complexes that are fully accessible in the region of Crimea for our means of destruction. Did you like this video? Then, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our new Arsenal channel. The link is in the description below the video.